Well, good morning, everyone. I am Robert Lee, and this is MacNSeitz 14U. Beautiful, beautiful Friday morning, albeit early here at 8 a.m., set for game time. We're playing in the Perfect Game Select 32, and this is game number 2. MacNSeitz coming out with a dub yesterday, 10-2. Man, excuse me, folks. I tell you what, I just had a huge coughing fit right before the broadcast started, and I'm still trying to collect myself. But nonetheless, MacNSeitz coming up with a 10-2 victory yesterday. An exciting game to see the boys kind of up and down the lineup finally put the ball in play a little bit. We didn't see a ton of strikeouts looking, which has been a huge problem for us. And so guys were swinging the bats early and swinging them often, which is fantastic. And then even maybe more so than that, we had guys who were actually fielding the ball. And I tell you what, it's exciting to see these boys play to their potential and their capability. We see them kind of grinding it out in practice, and so we know that they're capable of it. For them to finally put it together and come up with a really strong win yesterday was fantastic to see. I tell you what, man, that that little coughing fit kind of got me. So again, yesterday, coming up 10-2, that was over the Naturals Baseball Academy Marucci Hoover 14U. And so today we are facing the building champions Blue. And I'd have to go back in and take a quick look at their at how they fared yesterday. I believe that they lost yesterday as well. Let me take a quick look here at the standings for this Perfect Game Select 32. Bigger tournament, quite a few teams in it, and so just so everybody understands exactly what goes on, because what we've seen throughout the summer season is we typically have a 3-game guarantee. We've played in a couple that were a little bit more than that, maybe a 4 or 5 game guarantee. This is a 4-game guarantee, but they're running it a little unusually because what they're doing is they're guaranteeing 4 games. So usually that means 3 games in pool play and then on into bracket play. However, what they're doing here with this one is they're only going to let the top 5 teams play in bracket play. So pretty important to perform well here in pool play. And for the life of me, I just can't get that bracket to pull up. So, but I do believe the building champions lost yesterday. So you can see it right there, I think, in your screen, the umpires meeting with the coaches. So the umpires have showed up, and we're here just about 2 minutes before game time. Should be a lot of fun to watch us play. That you cannot ask for better baseball weather in July. We are in Shawnee, Kansas today, and I tell you what, we've had a couple of burners out here in the past, and just 2 weeks ago playing up in the Battle of Omaha in Nebraska, and I tell you what, that was smoking hot, the humidity off the charts. And so today, just a beautiful, beautiful day. Sun's starting to peek out behind what is an overcast type of cloudy sky, but just a slight breeze, and I think we're maybe going to be pushing into the 70s today. So beautiful baseball weather. Can't ask for anything better. Good from a pitching standpoint, from a hitting standpoint, everything. You're going to start to see the shadows kind of cast across to the left side of the field as that sun raises in the sky. Looks like we've got one umpire here. He's all set to go. Got his hand bandaged up. I don't know if he's been duking it out over the weekend or what. Hopefully not. I see a lot of these parents can get kind of a little out of control and whatnot. So I just joke about that, but looking for a fantastic game today here. And so as we wait for that other umpire to show up, I'll go over our starting lineup today. There are some small adjustments, and notably missing from the MacNSeitz dugout is Zach Baker, Coach Zach Baker. Coach not able to make it today, so we have the assistant coach, Anthony Wingrove, taking the helm and leading the boys as he did yesterday. And so it looks like Parker Simon's dad is also in the dugout and helping out. So he'll be out there helping on the base paths as well. But the starting lineup for MacNSeitz, and I'll just read them off in order here, folks. That's leading off for MacNSeitz today is going to be Alex Kilman, followed by Seabass Wingrove. Hitting in the 3-hole, Pax Crowther, and then hitting cleanup, notably a drastic change, Henry Block. So having a good day at the plate yesterday, and they're giving him quite a bit of a bump here in the lineup, and excited for him to see that. Followed by Tucker Lee, Parker Simons, Mason Gellender, Isaac Dixon, Cooper McCown, Bryson Spear, and rounding out the lineup is Grant Warren. Taking off on the mound for us today is going to be Isaac Dixon. So on a 4-game guarantee, and with hopefully more games to go, obviously pitching such a huge strategy for every team. And so MacNSeitz not able to have Henry Block join us this weekend. Had some kind of conflict that he's not able to join us on Saturday and Sunday. And so he ended up pitching a complete game yesterday. Did a fantastic job. You could definitely see his arm was tired there towards the end, but he continued to stay out there and come up with the outs that he needed. First pitch strikes all along the way, good command of his curve. It was a lot of fun to watch. And so Isaac Dixon maybe doesn't get as many innings as some of the other guys, and so we'll see how he starts out here today. But excited to see him get out to a good start. Boys fielding fantastic, and I'll tell you that they just took the field right now. Let me go ahead and take this emblem off the screen. But you see Bryson Spear there behind the dish, and looks like Parker Simons at third. Looks like that's going to be Grant Warren at short. Sebastian Wingrove at second, Alex Kilman at first, Tucker Lee in left, and looks like Cooper McCown out in center, and then Mason Gellender in right. And so that's how MacNSeitz will take the field. I did get a roster here for the Building Champions team. That's Building Champions Blue, one of the larger academies in and around the Kansas City metro area, kind of like MacNSeitz. So a number of teams at all different age brackets, but this happens to be the Building Champions Blue at 14U. So leading off for them is Burning, followed by Eckert, Sheegan, Bayer, Pitzel, Norman, and I apologize, folks. I've got a handwritten roster here, and I cannot read this name, but number 47 starts with a B, and then number 48, Sharp, followed by, and rounding out their lineup is McFarland. So game is all set, and we are ready to go, man. I can't believe how fast this is coming out to a jump. I was not quite ready. So Dixon starts off with the ball, and that is how we will start. Hard hit ball, center field. This gets over the center fielder's head. He misread that, did not go back, and just went right over, sailing right over his head, and a leadoff double for Building Champions. That has too often been the case with some of our fielding, and I tell you what, Cooper McCown just not seeing that ball. Maybe thought it was going to tail down, and then by the time he recognized it was sailing, he was way too late. Now, of course, we know that Dixon is not going to be one of these pitchers that overpowers batters. What we're hoping is that we can get the ball in play, and that our boys are going to, the defense will hold up behind them. So 2-0 here to start for Eckert for the Billy Champions. Swing and a miss. So taking a big cut at that one. Not sure if he pulled his head a little bit or what it was, but that ball, that pitch was certainly inside and probably a good 6 inches over his bat. Fly ball right side. Mason Gellender collects that for out number 1. So certainly exactly what we're expecting to get out of some good innings from Isaac Dixon is the ball getting put in play and our defense making plays behind him. And Mason Gellender able to do so right there. That's going to bring up number 98, Sheegan, for Building Champions. Hard hit ball right side. This one's deep. Over the shoulder catch for Gellender. And that's going to be good for out number 2. I nearly thought we were going to have a repeat of the first batter with it going over the outfielder's head. But he's able to make an over the shoulder catch, and that's good for out number 2. That's going to bring up number 85, Bayer, for Building Champions. And a wild pitch. Runner will advance uncontested. And now Building Champions with a runner in scoring position over there on third. MacNSeitz with 2 outs and looking to close out this inning. Hard hit ball right at third base and off the glove of Parker Simons. Batter will reach on air and a run will score. So exactly what MacNSeitz is hoping to see, the ball being put in play and the defense standing up behind him. Parker Simons has had a little bit of a rough go over there at third as of late. Always good footwork, just had a little bit of trouble with the glove. And this one's a gapper, folks, right side. Mason Gellender is going to collect that. And Building Champions with another single. So that'll put runners on second and first. And MacNSeitz still with 2 down. Now force at every base. And that's going to bring up number 86, Norman. That was Pitzel on the single in the play before. And, man, Oppo Taco again right over to Mason Gellender. Misplays the ball, and then it does not throw it in. Play at the plate. Coming in, and 85 just runs over the catcher. So that'll make it 2-0, and base runners do advance. No call from the umpire on the play at the plate. So per baseball rules, the catcher, if he does not possess the ball, cannot obstruct the base running path. But I believe, according to perfect game rules, base runners cannot lower their shoulder in collision with the catcher. And that's exactly what I saw here, folks. He lowered his shoulder. You cannot do that. That is certainly against the rules. And I believe he should have been called out right there at that very moment. Now, obviously, two different things going on there with the catcher not possessing the ball in the base path. You either call catcher obstruction or you don't. But regardless, you cannot lower a shoulder at a catcher. If you lower a shoulder at a catcher, he should be out. And that means ejection from the game as well, folks. Swing and a miss, drop third strike, play over at first. And that'll be good for out number 3. So Building Champions jumping out to a 2-0 lead here quick in the top of the first. We'll see how MacNSeitz responds here in bottom of the second. But an interesting inning, not to say the least. And I tell you what, the player should have been ejected. You cannot lower a shoulder going into home plate. We'll see how that materially ends up. And a short audio break right now. Okay, all set to go here for bottom of the first, leading off for MacNSeitz. Number 4, Alex Kilman. Ball in play, this one over to third base. And the first baseman unable to come up with the dig. And Alex Kilman will reach on air. Now up the plate. That is number 10, Seabass Wingrove. Fouls that first pitch off. And much as we saw in the first game, these guys swinging the bat early in the first pitches. And I tell you what, that's something I wish these guys would just lay off just a little bit. Try to get a better pitch to hit. Pickoff attempt over at first, but Kilman back up, no problem. Ooh, and that one nearly would have got Kilman right there, but the throw was off the mark, fortunately. And so the runner is back up safe. Runner goes. Oh. Overthrow at second, and runner goes to third. Alex Kilman will score. So making his way around the bases due to throwing error, and then that ball on this turf environment, there's just nothing to slow a ball down. It rolls all the way out to the fence as it got by the intended second baseman and then also the center fielder. And a strike 3 call. Wingrove goes down looking. And that has been the Achilles heel for MacNSeitz. Got to swing the bat, give yourself just a chance. Now to the plate, Paxton Crowther. That one fouled off the end of the bat, now a 1-1 count. That is number 98 up there on the mound for building champions, Sheegan. Sitting right now about mid-60s. This one well inside as Crowther jumps back out of the way. And that'll be ball number 4 as Crowther will take his base. That brings up big number 45, or 49 rather, I apologize, Henry Block. Henry put this one in play over to shortstop. And another throwing error over at first as it gets by the first baseman. Paxton Crowther on his game makes his way over to third base. And so Block will reach on air. And so building champions hurting themselves, coming up with a number of errors leading to base runners. That brings up number 27, Tucker Lee. And that ball well outside. And Tucker Lee talking to the home plate umpire, telling him he thinks that the pitching mound is a little askew. I'd have to agree with him somewhat, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any type of field maintenance done right now. So runners on the corners, just one down. Count now 1-0. Runner goes, and he'll make his way over to second uncontested. So Tuck now with a 2-0 count. Crowther on third. And Block on second. Pass ball. Crowther holds at third. So gotta say these backstops here at we're playing at the Mid-America Sports Complex here in Shawnee, Kansas, and the backstops here are relatively short. So on those pass balls, depending on how that ball caroms, runner's really taking a chance as Lee draws a walk. That'll load the bases. So Lee had absolutely not one pitch to hit right there, and that's going to bring up number 27, Parker Simons. And that ball outside. And so Sheegan, for building champions, continues to struggle here early, not finding the plate. Ball in play, this one over to third. Throws to second, but the second baseman does not catch the ball, and that gets out into the outfield, and another run will score. So what would have been a fielder's choice ends up being an error, and MacNSeitz rather coming up with a run. Now it looks like the building champions coach wanted to take a quick momentary pause here and try to get his team to settle down. So infield returns to their positions. And we're all set, ready to resume. Now at the plate, number 5, Mason Gellender. Runner goes. But a foul ball down the line, third base side. Gellender coming up with a nice piece of hitting yesterday. Big swing and a miss. And another throwing error. So Lee on top of it right there, and as that ball caroms off the pitcher's glove, he heads home. That'll make our affair now 4-2 in favor of MacNSeitz. Pitch steps off the rubber, backs off. He's listening to his dugout. And I think they were looking for a pickoff play. A little diversion from short, but thrown back over to second. And they continue to work on the base runner. I tell you what, with a number of walks right here. Probably ought to focus on that batter. So I'm not sure what that call was. But we have a 1-2 count. Plate umpire doing a good job calling out the count. And one of the things that he's doing right now that I really like the umpire's doing is he's indicating to the pitcher where that ball is. So he's telling him, hey, it's up high, it's to the left, it's to the right. And that certainly helps these guys try to bring that ball back into the strike zone. But Sheegan continuing to struggle here now. Full count. Gellender with a base hit. This one gets by short. And runner is heading home. There's going to be a play. He is called out. And so some aggressive base running from MacNSeitz. But, I mean, folks, that was a shallow ball. I was really surprised to see that they sent him. I'm a little tongue-twisted here because I was just kind of shocked. But Gellender doing a good job making use of that throw home. He makes his way over to second. So now 2 down. That is number 79, Isaac Dixon, at the plate. And he fouls that one off. That'll even up his count now, 1-1. Foul ball. So the MacNSeitz dugout alive and well this morning. Hearing a little bit more chatter from him today than I did even yesterday. And Dixon fouls this one down the third base line. And a strike three call. Dixon a little unsure on that one, but that'll do it for us in the first inning, but not before MacNSeitz jumps out to a 4-2 lead. Quick audio break here. I'm going to try to adjust a couple of these cameras. Thanks so much for watching, folks. All right. That takes us to top of the second. Dixon still working on the bump for MacNSeitz. Starts off with the ball high. That's number 48 for Building Champions, Sharp at the plate. And a strike call. So that pitch coming in at 63 miles an hour. Once again, Dixon not a big velocity guy, but keeping that ball in the zone and getting balls being put in play. That one's fouled deep left side. Count now 1-2. And a little blooper. Left fielder handles that for out number 1. That's number 27, Tucker Lee. I thought that one had a chance to get down, but ball carried a little bit farther than I expected, and Lee coming up with the catch. Oh, swing and a miss. Good action on that one. That's number 87 at the plate, McFarland, for Building Champions. And another swing and a miss. So Dixon starting him out 0-2. McFarland, notably the end of the lineup for Building Champions. So waiting on deck for BC. Number 27, Burning. Count now 1-2. And this one is going to get down. 4-base hit. So this will be Burning's second plate appearance. And it's still a close matchup right here so far. 4-2, favor of MacNSeitz. Base runner on first base. The tying run would be represented at home plate. And ball missing outside. So Spear working behind the dish, acting as if he was going to back pick over at first, but decides better of it. And gets that right back to Dixon. Swing and a miss. And Dixon with some good action on the ball today. And a strike three call. So Dixon now with 2 strikeouts on the day. And a strike call. That's number 83, Eckert, for Building Champions at the plate. This one's a little chipper right back to him. And that's going to be good for out number 3. So MacNSeitz getting exactly what they were hoping out of Dixon. And doing pretty well behind him defensively. Only a couple of miscues there in the first, but coming up with what we needed to there, and MacNSeitz enjoying a 4-2 lead. Today enjoying that home billing as well, so they will have the last at-bat when this game comes to a close. Always a big benefit to everyone there. Going to go on a quick audio break here, folks. And once again, thanks for joining us. Please drop a like on the video. All right, folks, that is going to be number 44, Cooper McCowan at the plate. And a strike call. I tell you what, that one painted the batter's box line. Swing and a miss. And McCown down now 0-2. Ball in play. This one over to second base. And McCowan quickly down the line, but unable to come up with it right there. That'll be out number 1.
That's it, Coop.
That's going to bring up number 3, Bryson Spear. Working behind the dish today for MacNSeitz. And this one down in the dirt. Last one coming in 66 miles an hour. I think that is where Sheegan has topped out today. And missing high right there. This one painting the inside corner for strike 1. And that one right down the pipe. Now 2-2. So Spear works it back to a full count. BC with 1 down. And a strike 3 call. So a liberal strike zone, but I got to say he's calling it the same way on both sides of the ball. And that's really all you can ask for from any umpire, is just to be consistent, and I think he's done that so far. So MacNSeitz not swinging so far. Grant Warren calling for time. Steps out, readjusts, and now he's ready to go. Sheegan working from the stretch. And almost everything's a strike right now. And Grant Warren doing a great job chasing that one outside, but getting the bat on the ball. Doing exactly what he needed to do. Earning an opportunity to find a better pitch to hit. And a strike 3 call. That'll do it for MacNSeitz. And bottom of the second. Building champions still trailing by 2. Got to tell you, the umpire, man, a very liberal strike zone right there. But I do think that he's calling it liberally on both sides. But I saw a couple of egregious ones right there. One that was well outside, and one that was right at the shoulders. So I think the most important thing that as a batter, that regardless of where the strike zone is if you can put the bat on the ball, you got to swing away and try to just put that sucker in play. But MacNSeitz still up 2. A lot of baseball yet to go. Top of the third. Short audio break. Okay, we are all set to go here for top of the third. MacNSeitz still up 4-2. And coming up with some quality innings here with Dixon. Not one of the primary pitchers that MacNSeitz has used this season, so good to see him coming up with fly balls and ground balls. And so far defensively, MacNSeitz has stood up behind him. High fly ball, second baseman calling for it. And Seabass collects that one for out number one. So Dixon with some good movement on the pitches today. And coming up with those, I tell you what, these kids are looking at like this ball coming in as like a softball. And they're still just not able to really tail it, or tag it rather. And strike call there. That is number 85, Bayer at the plate for BC. Ball in play, this one over to third. And Parker Simons making easy routine work for out number two. So a little chopper, and Simons doing a great job working in and through that ball. That's going to be number 36, Pitzel, up at the plate. Had a single on his last plate appearance. And a strike call. Last one coming in just pretty high. And a pop-up. Bryson Spear coming up with that ball almost at the last moment for out number three. And MacNSeitz quickly going 1, 2, 3. Fantastic job by Spear right there. I don't think he actually put eyes on it till, just moments before the catch. What a beautiful day for baseball out here. I tell you what, if you guys couldn't join us out at the park, I hope that you're able to get outside today and enjoy some of this unseasonably cool summer weather if you happen to be in the KC metro area. Absolutely beautiful day. So short audio break here as BC takes the field and warms up. All right. So leading off for MacNSeitz, back to the top of the order, and that's Alex Kilman at the plate. First pitch, and pops that one up. But out of play. So he'll have another chance. And a strike call. And one right up the middle, folks. That is going to be a single for Kilman. So still a lot of good energy coming out of the dugout. 0-2. So some good energy coming out of the dugout for MacNSeitz. Boys feeling loose, and good energy always equates to a little bit better play. Wingrove with a strikeout on his last at-bat. Went down looking. 4-2.
Just got it at 5, so whoever's doing it's got the right score.
Swing and a miss. And now Wingrove with a smile on his face.
Go, Seabass.
And a swing and a miss. He goes down swinging this time. That'll bring up number 21, Paxton Crowther.
Go, Paxton.
Paxton with a good day at the plate yesterday. Bumping up a couple of spots in the lineup. Runner goes, but I was really surprised to even see a throw down there. Had such an early jump right there. That's Kilman out there now on second. And a swing and a miss. Pickoff attempt over at second. Throws off the mark, but the center fielder comes up with it this time. You might recall there in the first pickoff attempt over to second did not go so well, and then ended up rolling back, getting by the center fielder and rolling all the way back to the fence, giving MacNSeitz their first run. Ball in play, this one over to first base. Runner will advance, but that is an out. So Crowther doing his job, as so often is said in baseball. Just putting that ball in play when you got base runners. And that brings up number 45, Henry Block. So Block down here early, 0-2. There are two down, bottom of the third, and runner on third base. And a nice looking curveball for strike three. Block goes down looking. So I said it earlier in the game, and actually just before the game, that's kind of been MacNSeitz' Achilles heel this season is one, not doing well defensively, and then two, not swinging the bat and going down on strikes. We've had about 3 of those today so far. But right now still enjoying a 2-run lead, score 4-2. That'll take us to top of the 4. And a short audio break for the moment. All right, folks, that is going to take us to top of 4. That is number 86 for BC leading off, Norman. And MacNSeitz sticks with Dixon up there on the hill. And a strike call there. And a huge hit right there, left side, and that one is a home run. So BC with some energy right there, coming up with a home run. It was an absolute dart to the left side. I got to tell you, the fence out here at Mid-America Sports Complex, we're playing on field 3. That is only 300 feet. But he cleared that fence pretty easily, so it was definitely a good knock right there. And that'll make our game now 4-3. MacNSeitz still in charge. So this is number 47 for BC. I'm just going to call him B. He's got a long name here, and I cannot make out that handwriting. But he fouls that one off. And now working with a 2-1 count. And a strike call right there. That'll even up the count now, 2-2. Goes back to an off-speed curveball right there, but down in the dirt, or turf, I should say. As all the fields out here at Mid-America Sports Complex are turf, both the infield and outfield. Hard hit ball, this one shortstop. And play coming over. Henry Block coming up with a nice dig right there, and that's good for out number 1. So Grant Warren playing short right there. Comes up with a backhand pretty deep from the outfield there. Makes a quick throw over and a one-hopper. Block digs that. And we now have 1 out. This is now number 48, Sharp, at the plate. You know, one of the things I was talking about yesterday is when it comes down to selecting the top 5 teams to move on into bracket play come Sunday, there's a number of teams here in the tournament. And so I imagine there's going to be most of those teams going probably 3-1, and then also it's really going to come down to how many runs did you allow in total. And so we allowed 2 yesterday. We've allowed 3 so far today for a total of 5. Yes, that basic arithmetic is easy for me to do. This one over to second base, and that's going to be out number 2. So a very manageable ground ball over there to second base. And Dixon continuing to come up with those ground balls and pop flies. Doing a great job up there on the bump. Now bottom of the lineup for building champions. That's number 87, McFarland, at the plate. First pitch coming in just a little bit high. And you can see one of my cameras went askew there. And a strike call, swing and a miss, rather. Swing and a miss there. That'll even up the count now, 2-2. That curveball down in the turf. And that'll be a full count. And another base hit for McFarland. So MacNSeitz with 2 down here, top of the 4th. And Building Champions now back to the top of the order. That's going to be 27 Burning at the plate. He fouls that first one. This one right to shortstop. And a simple toss over to second for out number 3. So not Building Champions, but MacNSeitz rather, looking good defensively. What's that? So MacNSeitz enjoying a very narrow margin right now, 4-3. And we're moving into bottom of the 4th. Once again, we do have that home billing, so we will have an opportunity for that last at-bat. But in a close affair right here, going to be looking to see if we can't get a little bit more breathing room. Number 27, Tucker Lee, leading off this inning, followed by Parker Simons. And it does look like Building Champions is going to stick with number 98, Sheegan, up there on the hill. Short audio break. All right. So now 2-0 to Tucker Lee. Fouls that one off the end of the bat, and he was definitely a little bit early. You know, after yesterday's game, Tucker and I went out to the cages and worked in the cages for about an hour. He's a little frustrated with hitting some of these slower velocity pitchers. Typically really trying to practice mostly right around that 80 mile an hour velocity. And when we see these guys that are mid to low 60s, he just does not let the ball travel quite far enough. And so doing a good job in the cages yesterday. See if it can translate here. So full count now. And swing and a miss. Lee goes down swinging. Continuing to struggle with those slower velocity pitchers. And that's, I know, frustrating to him, but that is going to bring up number 27, Parker Simons. And strike call there. Oh, Simons with a dart out there to second base, but a line drive that is collected by that second baseman. And so 2 quick outs here for MacNSeitz. That's going to bring up number 5, Mason Gellender. So an 0-2 count now to Mason Gellender. And a foul tip. It is dropped by the catcher. Thought he almost held on to it there. If he had, that would have been it for Gellender, but as such, he earns another opportunity. That one coming in high. Mason with a nice stroke here earlier in the game. See if he can't get something started here for us. And strike 3 call. I got to tell you, man, these pitches are coming in and they're painting the lines of the batter's boxes. So a very liberal strike zone, both left and right, and then oftentimes coming in at shoulder height. Makes it tough for the hitters and good for the pitchers. And it does look like we are going to make a pitching change this inning. Looks like Paxton Crowther coming out to replace Isaac Dixon. Thought we might save Paxton for one of the next 2 games. But as I mentioned earlier, very important here in pool play in order for us to make it out to bracket play. 1, coming up with a win, and then 2, not allowing a ton of runs. Well, short audio break here as Crowther continues his warm-up. All right. Well, folks, that takes us to top of the 5th now. Paxton Crowther taking the charge on the hill. Crafty lefty, sitting somewhere 67, 68 miles an hour. Good curveball. This one, first pitch, and a ball right to shortstop. That's Bryson Spear out there playing short. So 1 pitch, 1 out, and that's kind of pitch efficiency that'll get Crowther through the rest of this game. That's number 98 now, Sheegan, at the plate for Building Champions. Crowther, of course, working from the windup. And strike call. So Crowther typically topping out somewhere around that 68, 69 miles an hour. But doing a good job working left and right. But a good contrast velocity-wise coming from Dixon. Sheegan doing a good job fouling that one off, trying to battle. And now 1-2 count. Ball in play. This one over to second base. Wingrove getting there, having a dive to kind of get that ball quickly up and then over to first for out number 2. So boys doing a good job behind Pax. And that'll now bring up number 85, Bayer, for BC. And that one right down the pipe. Strike 1. So Alex Kilman starting out there at first base, now working behind the dish, giving Bryson Spear a little bit of a break as he moves over to shortstop. Swing and a miss. So number of defensive substitutions here. Cooper McCown moving over to left. Lee moving to center. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Paxton looking sharp there in the 5th inning. Quickly going, 1, 2, 3. So exactly what MacNSeitz really needed, and with another opportunity here to try to grow that margin, a little more breathing room, exactly what they're looking for. Leading off for MNS is going to be Isaac Dixon, followed by Cooper McCown. So, folks, we'll go on a short audio break here. I'll leave you. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit up that 7 Nation Army here. Okay, so home plate umpire over there talking with MacNSeitz coach Anthony Wingrove there in between innings. So now bottom of 5. That's Isaac Dixon at the plate. And taking 2 strike calls very quickly here. Building champion still working with Sheegan up there on the bump. And that ball missing well outside. Ball in play. This is a chopper over to third. And that'll be good for out number 1. Tell you what, Dixon did a good job getting that bat on the ball. Anything close, and he's swinging. Had to roll over on it to get the bat on it. It was right at about shoulder height. But still putting that ball in play. Number 44, Cooper McCowan now at the plate. And a strike call. And same spot. Sheegan doing a good job finding those spots. Struggled in the early go, but kind of found a rhythm. Now 1-2 count. Right up the middle. Shortstop's going to handle it. And he is out. I tell you what, Cooper McCowan, like a rocket out of the batter's box, almost legged that one out. Some really good footwork for BC shortstop there. Nice strong throw. That's going to bring up number 3, Bryson Spear. This one right over to short. And a wild throw. Oh, my goodness. And a base running there for Spear. He would have been up on first with an overthrow, but he rounds the bag rather than just going through the bag and taking the air for a base hit. But these short backstops, I tell you what, folks. So over there on the right side, and that one may have been just outside of your viewing on the TV there, but the backstop going at left and right, along the baselines there, really short. And so that is a wild overthrow. I mean, probably, a good 5-6 feet above the first baseman's head. And he's unable to come up with it, but it bounces off the net and almost right back to him. And all he had to simply do was just collect the ball, turn around, and put a tag on Spear. So had Spear just gone through the bag rather than rounding, I think he would have been fine. But as such, that's the third out, and that'll take us out to top of the 6th. And BC just 1 run down. But Pax Crowther up there on the mound for MacNSeitz, and I tell you what, he looked sharp in that first inning, which was top of the 5th. All right, in the last warm-up pitch here now for Pax Crowther. Little throw down by Kilman. And now we're ready to go. Leading off for Building Champions this inning is number 36, Pitzel. Had a good day at the plate so far. Let's see what he can do here against Crowther. And Crowther starting off with a first pitch strike. Tell you what, I love so many elements of the baseball game, but I love seeing a good crafty pitcher start off with a first pitch strike. Just makes the challenge, and then the batter really has to step up to that challenge, right? So now an even count, 1-1. Fly ball, center field. Oh, and he misreads it. That gets over his head. Throws all the way back in, but center fielder completely misread that one. That's a frustrating deal right there because I think that should have been a fly ball that would have been out number 1. Now Crowther with the tying run on second base. So now the umpiring staff looking for some more baseballs. And another first pitch strike right there. That's 86 Norman for BC at the plate. I tell you what, Pitzel's had a heck of a day out there at the plate for Building Champions. And this ball in play, good line drive, and then an errant throw. I tell you what, that was Mason Gellender trying to throw from right field over to first and threw it about a mile over his head. But a good piece of hitting for Norman, and that'll put runners on the corners. Looks like there's going to be a courtesy runner for Norman over there at first. Has to be the last out, and it's not exactly another speedster, so not necessarily a benefit to Building Champions. Runner goes, and he makes his way over to second uncontested. So the runner on second base would represent the go-ahead run. And so tying run on third, go-ahead run on second, nobody down, top of the 6th. MacNSeitz really need to come up with some outs right here. And Crowther now working with a 1-1 count. So that is B for Building Champions there at the plate. Working now with a 1-2 count. Oh, and Crowther with a beautiful looking curveball right there. And I tell you what, that's something that, you know, a lefty with a curveball, that comes back into a right-handed batter. Right-handed batters not having a lot of experience with that. It's definitely something different that they're not used to seeing. Be interested to see if he goes right back to that. That was a really good pitch. And he does, but it does not break. And so stays out. Now 2-2. Missing outside right there. 68 miles an hour, but that one down. And ball 4, that'll load the bases. And so an early misread from the first batter out there in center field, making his way on base. Followed up with a good base hit for Pitzel. Or I'm sorry, for Norman. And now a walk by B for Building Champions. So nobody down. And now Coach Wingrove wanting to talk to the boys about how they want to handle it. So very often, as you'll see in this case, you'll see the corners play in, and then you'll see middle infield play at double play depth. But because this is the tie and run, he could have the entire infield playing in, looking for a play out there at home plate. That's going to be number 48 Sharp for Building Champions at the plate. And what'll be interesting to me, now that the mound visit is done, what'll be interesting to me to see is, will Building Champions come into home plate with their shoulder down? They come into the home plate with their shoulder down again. I'd figure second time, you're not going to get every single call, but and the reason they have those rules in here in youth baseball is they're obviously trying to prevent injuries. Injuries to the catchers, injuries to the runners. Fly ball left side. This one's high in the sky. McCowan comes up with it. Throw comes home. And that's not going to be in time. So McCowan doing a good job coming up with the out, and a strong throw home, but not in time, and so a sac fly. So that'll tie the score up now 4-4. He did. So now a tie ball game. So Building Champions chipping away at the lead and slowly coming back. They're able to tie the game here, top of the 6th. Good glove by Dixon right there. And I tell you what, it's frustrating. I'm working with these cameras and these nets. They just keep getting into our screen there and moving the cameras all around. High fly ball. This one's going to be deep, 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 and it is over, folks. That is going to be a 3-run shot for Building Champions, and that will give them a 3-run lead, now 7-4. So second home run on the day for BC. And a game that MacNSeitz was well in control here early. They come up with a nice deep ball right there. Going a little bit oppo because that was right center field, but these fields just at 300 feet, so home runs are certainly possible by anybody putting up a deep fly ball. That one, unlike the first one I felt like was a really good knock. It was just absolutely kind of a no-doubter, but here this one really just looked like a deep fly ball. Center fielder was tracking it. He came up right up on the fence and then just stopped dead. So now the infield wanting to take a quick chat about something. I think that they're waiting on baseballs. They're all out of baseballs, folks. And
Thank you.
Paxton Crowther telling his center fielder to back up, but his center fielder was there. So I don't know exactly what he was wanting right there, but that's going to bring up number 27, top of the order for BC. So that's burning. So that was a McFarland 3-run shot. So kind of a shame for Dixon, who started out there on the bump, doing a really great job and holding Building Champions to just 2 runs, or 3 runs rather. Swing and a miss. Almost tried to pull back on that one, almost as if it was a check swing, but well past the home plate. And so now 2-1 count. And Paxton looked like he just rushed that pitch a little bit. Down and outside. Does the same thing there, and I'm a little behind on the count there by a pitch. So Burning earns a walk. I don't know what Crowther seems to be frustrated about. He's kind of walking around the infield with his hands out. So he's trying to communicate something to Coach Wingrove out over there in the dugout, something that he's frustrated by. And I don't know if it's the pitching mound maybe being a bit askew or what it might be, but something frustrating him. Block, collecting that one, and that is going to be out number 2. Was that 3? Was that 3 or was that 2? So they're coming up with more baseballs for the home plate umpire. Had a number of fouls and then obviously a couple of home runs here, so those balls disappearing. But Crowther looking unsettled, and I tell you what, he came in that top of the 5th and just looked sharp as sharp could be. And new inning and a new situation here. I tell you what, looking to just kind of close things out here and then give MacNSeitz an opportunity to charge their way back. Wild pitch right there, and runner will advance. Uncontested. Screamer down the left side, but it is about 2 feet foul. That's number 98 for BC, Sheegan. So far holding MacNSeitz to just 4 runs. He's pitched the entire effort for for Building Champions. Oh, we really thought about that one. Fouling that one off the end of the bat, and that'll now make it 2-2. So even up the count. And MacNSeitz looking a little bit flat there out there on the field right now. Got to tell you, I'm a little surprised BC doesn't have a little bit more energy coming out of their dugout. Kind of a subdued response to really both home runs. I think they were pretty excited about taking the lead, but nothing out of control or anything of that nature. So, and a strike 3 call, backdoor curveball, and that'll do it for MacNSeitz. That gets us out of a bloody, bloody inning, and that'll take us to bottom of the 6th. Building champions coming up with a 3-run shot after tying the game, and they now enjoy a 3-run lead. Starting off, or leading off rather, for MacNSeitz is going to be Grant Warren, followed by the top of the order and Alex Kilman. I'm going to take a quick break here and try to adjust a couple of these cameras. All right, that is going to be Grant Warren stepping into the box for MacNSeitz. Swing and a miss. And building champions sticking with Sheegan out there on the bump. And a fly ball. This one's going to be trouble. It's getting down, and it's a gapper. It's going all the way out to the fence, folks. Warren rounds first base and coming up with a leadoff double. I tell you what, Grant Warren hitting the bottom of the lineup, and he's had a pretty good day, very productive at the plate, both yesterday and today. And now number 4, Alex Kilman at the plate. Alex Kilman trying to turn on that one, coming high and inside. Able to get the bat on it, fouls it off. So Sheegan starting to look a little bit tired. And a strike 3 call. I tell you what, both those last 2 balls were right on the line of the batter's box. Very difficult for a hitter to get all the way out there, across the plate, and get the bat on it. Same spot, Wingrove puts it in play over to first base, and that's going to be out number 2. Grant Warren is able to advance over to third after Wingrove put that one in play. And that's going to bring up number 21, Pax Crowther. Looking to help himself out a little bit here, keep things going. So boys watch on in anticipation from the dugout. And Crowther takes one down the pipe. Number 4-9, Henry Block, waiting in the on-deck circle. And now 3-1 count. Crowther putting this one in play over to second base, and that's going to be an easy out 3. Well, folks, that's going to take us to top of the 7, and we'll see where does this come in at. Yep, we are not at game time yet. And so we will be able to finish the 7th inning. So MacNSeitz will need to hold building champions here. And then they're still going to need to come up with some heavy lifting and come up with 3 runs at the very least in order to tie. Because this is pool play, if we only came up with 3 runs and tied, it would be a draw, as there are no extra innings in pool play, only in bracket play. So really needing to come up with 4 runs to come away with the W. Talked about it earlier. I felt like we were in really good shape. Had only given up, I think, 2 runs there for the vast majority of the game, then a 3rd run. And unfortunately now giving up a total of 7 runs. That'll definitely feel the result there in pool play as we look on at the rest of these games. But a lot of baseball yet to be played today and tomorrow. We've got 2 lined up for back-to-back. 2 and 4 o'clock starts are the scheduled game starts. But we've still got 1 yet to go here, and let's see if MacNSeitz can come up with something special and battle back. Well, that's going to bring up number 85, Bayer, for MacNSeitz. Or not MacNSeitz, for building champions. I'm doing too many different things at once here. So camera's now readjusted. Pack starting off 1-0. And a high pop fly. Second baseman coming up with that, and that is good for out number 1. So 2 pitches and an out for Crowther. That'll bring up now number 36, Pitzel, who's had one heck of a day at the plate. So 2 pitches, 2 balls, and Pack's trying to work into a rhythm here. And a strike call. So after 3 balls, comes up with a strike on the outside corner. Line drive, this one right over to shortstop. And Dixon is able to collect that one for out number 2. And that brings up number 86, Norman. Line drive. This one is center field. And that'll be a single. And so BC will get a courtesy runner for Norman. I believe Norman's been working behind the plate for BC all day. So MacNSeitz with 2 quick outs. Now runner on first. Looking to close things out here and get back in the box. Pop up. Right fielder calling for it. And off the glove of the right fielder. An errant throw, and nobody's going after the ball. My goodness, folks. So 1-2 errors back to back, and now you got runners on second and third. So right fielder was really tracking that ball. Looked like he had called for it. Glanced off the edge of his glove, and then the throw came into second base, and that goes off the edge of that fielder's glove. And that is going to do it for Paxton Crowther. And now something we've not seen here yet since I started broadcasting with MacNSeitz, and that is Bryson Spear coming up to throw. So a pitching change. And Spear looking to warm up. Spears had a little bit of an arm issue, I think, in his shoulder. He's been cleared by the doc and saying that he's good to go. Often catches the vast majority of the games for us, but Kilman working behind the dish right now, and when you're throwing that much and that often, it's a little surprising to me to, out of all the guys that we've got, that's who they're going to pick to try to close things out here. Well, quick audio break, folks. So number 48, that's Sharp for BC in the box. Now Bryson Spear up there on the bump. Comes up with a swing and a miss right there. First pitch coming in 69 miles an hour. And they foul that one off. So Spear quickly gets him down now, 0-2. Runners on second and third, 2 down. Top of the 7th. Scores now 7-4 in favor of Building Champions. And a line drive right up the middle. One will score. And now 2. So that'll make the affair now 9-4. Center fielder did not handle that ground ball out there in center field cleanly. And so Building Champions able to come up with an extra run right there on what otherwise should have just been a simple RBI single. So Building Champions swinging early and often, swinging with a ton of confidence right now. Pax Crowther coming up with 2 outs. And looking to ball standing right in my way.
That was a ball. Oh my God. Jesus, it's all about you.
So that ball caroms off the glove of Kilman and gets away from him. Runner's able to advance uncontested over there to third. So Spear electing to work from the windup. And a strike 3 call. That'll do it for us in the 7th, but not before Building Champions puts 2 more on the board, and now MacNSeitz with some heavy lifting to do. Needing to come up with 5 for a draw and 6 for the win. Short audio break here. So leading off for MacNSeitz here, bottom of 7 is going to be Henry Block, followed by Tucker Lee. So Building Champions elects to stick with Sheegan up there on the hill. That'll do it for him in this tournament. He won't be able to pitch another inning. Now 1-1 to Block. Big chopper, this one off the glove of pitch. Block trying to run that out, but the second baseman collecting that and doing a good job. I thought Block might have a chance Not exactly a speedster down the line there, but he was giving it his all. And once it caromed off the glove of the pitcher, I wasn't sure if the second baseman was going to be able to come up with a clean play, but he does. And a foul ball for Lee. This one down the line, just a little dribbler. Probably fortunate that one rolled foul. And a strike two call. And strike three. Swing and a miss.
That's three. No, the ground. How about a ground ball and then 2 strikes? That's three. Ground ball first, then 2 strikes.
So now 1-2 count. Could have swore there was another strike call in there. So, I don't know what kind of shenanigans are going on here, but that was a strike three call. Now number 27, Parker Simons, up to the plate. So, MacNSeitz down to their last out, needing 5 runs for a draw and 6 for the win. So 2-1 count. Ball in play. This one is going to get through the infield right up the middle. And Parker Simons up with a single. Good to see him get the bat on the ball. And that'll now bring up number 5, Mason Gellender. Pop fly, center field, and that is out number 3. Well, folks, that'll do it for us out here at the Mid-America Sports Complex in Shawnee, Kansas, playing in the perfect game, 32 select. MacNSeitz now 1-1 in pool play, and we'll be looking to come back out here hopefully with a couple W's tomorrow. Certainly a couple opportunities. Playing back-to-back at 2 and 4 o'clock. Appreciate you guys joining us here. Drop a like or a comment in the videos. Good luck to Building Champions in the remainder of their tournament. And with any luck, we'll have a rubber match. That'll do it. Thanks so much, folks.